Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to a very short, edited version of the Big Time Show, The Ride. We are riding. What's going on this morning? We are trying to we are trying to get things ready for the NFL draft. Want to talk very quickly. Hope you guys will share very quickly. As you know, when I do this, I can't really see your comments or anything, but thankful to those who have come, this morning just to hang with me just for a little while. If you don't mind, because I can't share the way that I need to, I hope that you would do it for me. Uh, Good morning. I haven't had the chance to talk about what our beloved Dallas Cowboys have done in the last 24 hours or 48 hours, in which we have made another trade. The Cowboys are active. And I must admit that when we get on here and criticize Jerry and Steven, whoever else, when we criticize them, I think it's only fair that we get on here and salute them as well. So that's what I'm here for this morning. By now, you know that the Cowboys made a trade to acquire Joe Milton III. Um, as a backup quarterback for the Cowboys. Two things I want to say about that, and then I'll let you get on about your day. And by that time, I'll probably be where I need to be by that time. Um, Number one, most importantly, Joe Milton may be better. I didn't say he was, but I said he may be better than maybe day three of the quarterbacks that are going to be in the draft. This year, let's be honest, the quarterback position is not as deep, in my opinion, probably not as good as it needs to be. Joe Milton is a guy that has major upside because of his athletic ability. And of course, by now, you know that he has a rocket electric arm. There's no disputing that. He has an arm that most people say that it's only maybe about 3 or 4 or 5 guys that's in the league now that can really compare with what he has in an arm. His athletic ability is, uh, very good. And yes, I'm going to say this. I mean, he's another Trey Lance type of vibe to him. So your question is he better than Trey Lance? Probably to be fair, probably he's not, maybe. But we really don't know because we really don't have a real good sample size when it comes to Joe Milton. But he's a guy that's been in the league. He's a guy that has, kind of had offense. He just really ain't had the chance. He's still a developing quarterback. Same thing as Trey Lance is, uh, which leads now to my next thing. And I want to make sure that I think you need to understand. There's a there's a thought, y'all, that when we got Joe Milton, because see, some folks I've been watching, even though this is my first time saying about it in true form, the Dallas Cowboy universe has already started with the mess, and that is saying, well, there's Dak replacement. Dak got a short leash. It's amazing how they said the same thing about Andy Dalton. It's amazing how they said the same thing about Trey Lance. It's amazing how they said the same thing when it came to Cooper Rush, and yet Dak Prescott is still standing. I'm just gonna leave that there and just stop it. Joe Milton is not the starter. Joe Milton is nowhere near being the starter. Let's make sure that we're very clear on that, because some Cowboy fans need to be educated on that very quickly because they get out of hand. I'm going to carry it a step further, and I'm going to be honest, because some people automatically think that Joe Milton is automatically quarterback number 2. I don't know why. I don't know how people got that. Uh, because now your question should be, when I say something like that, well, is he better than Will Grier? And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say he's not. Is he better than Will Grier athletically? Yes. He's more of an athlete than Will Grier. But is he as accurate as Will Grier? No. Because if you know anything about Joe Milton, you know one of the main things that everybody says is wrong with him is his inaccuracy. That sounds like Trey Lance to me. So let's kind of pump the brakes real quick on anointing him as the quarterback number 2. He is not quarterback number 2. I believe that he's going to be developed greatly by Schottenheimer and the staff. I believe he's going to get better, and we will see Joe Milton, no doubt, in preseason. And I'm quite sure he's going to look, pretty decent. But make no mistake about it, he is not on the level, because we got to do this with every backup quarterback. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Everybody said Andy Dalton was going to be the guy. Everybody said Trey Lance. Dak better watch out. I've already heard talk about on Dak on the short leash. Are you kidding me? Are you crazy? Joe Milton will now be on I believe his second team. He just got drafted last year. Cowboys didn't give up with nothing but one of those 3 fifth-round picks that we had. Now we have 2, and we gained another pick in the 7th round instead. Look, I applaud it because I do believe Joe Milton is better than any day 3 quarterback that's coming up. Whoever the Cowboys, and a lot of people thought the Cowboys gonna draft a quarterback and all of that type of stuff. No, they decided to go with if you let me say it, a semi-veteran. Joe Milton hadn't been in the league long enough to really be considered really a veteran, but he's been in the NFL system. He's been in the league. He's played in the league, and I'm not knocking his athleticism. So I love it. I love it. I ain't got no problem with it. I think that Joe has the physical attributes are undeniable. This dude is a almost considered a freak. When you look at him, it's just a matter of getting more involved in the offense. I think he can do it. Some people ask he's Dak's successor. That remains to be seen. But the thing is that everybody's saying if Dak goes down and Joe Milton steps in, the season is not lost because you got Joe Milton. I'm still saying, like, wait a minute now. Come on now. He ain't on, is he on Will Grier's level? First of all, let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. There is a battle. I give you that. There will be a battle. It's true, and kudos to Coach Schottenheimer. even though he may have not had anything to do with getting him, but I'm quite sure he had some input. Kudos to him because one of the things that he's always said since he's been named the head coach is that he said there will be competition at every position, even though you know Dak is QB1. Well, there is competition. It's just not at QB1. The competition is at QB2 and 3. And who's going to be QB2? That's what the competition is. So I applaud the Cowboys for the acquisition. They handled their business as far as getting a quarterback before the draft. Now with those late picks, you don't necessarily have to say, hey, we got to get a quarterback. We got to get a quarterback. Well, you don't have to do that now. You got 3. You got Dak Prescott, you got Joe Milton, you got Will Greer. There's no need to look for any more quarterbacks. Unless one of them get hurt, of course. There's no need to look for one. So that's over and done with. Now we can look to the draft again, even in the late rounds, of possibly acquiring somebody that may make the team. Keep in mind, when you start getting into the 5th and on down, where I say the 6th round. A lot of these guys that get drafted in the 6th and 7th round, or the undrafted guys, obviously, primarily, you always gonna have somebody that's gonna shine and turn into a Pro Bowler from those rounds, or All Pro maybe, and even maybe those guys are having a connection issue. So hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right, forgive me. I'm driving, so I hit a bad spot. Those guys that are being drafted in those rounds, those guys are usually trying to make the practice squad. Those guys are usually trying to make the team. So I applaud the Cowboys for what they've done. They have done things a little differently this off season. It's obvious that free agency this season, at least this off season, was used for depth. As I always have said, Cowboys rarely do free agency for impact. They did do it in a couple of spots. When they got Dante Fowler, that's impact. When they and y'all haven't really studied them yet, because I know you haven't. But when they acquired the linebacker Jack Seymour, who is a Eberflus guy who can come in immediately, knows the system, kind of like the same way Eric Kendricks was for Mike Zimmer. Come in, one of those guys, and he'll probably be maybe even the quarterback of the defense. Knows the calls, knows the plays, know how to line people up. I didn't say he gonna have 150 tackles this year, but that's an impact type of move because this guy can come in and really don't have to learn Eberflus defense. He can come in immediately day one and start getting things together. That's impact. Love that. The kid from Tennessee, the linebacker, Kenneth, I forgot his last name, but that linebacker, that's impact. Somewhat of impact. Guy didn't come in and be a day one starter. That's what you call impact. You'll take that. Everything else pretty much, for the true Cowboy form, they tried for depth. They did it earlier than expected. So there's the difference between previous offseason and this offseason. Overall, I like it. Now the draft is where we'll really find out if they really are trying to do some damage this year. Because I admit it, in some positions, they have put themselves in a position where they truly can draft the best player available. They really can. There's a little hole, in this spot and this spot and all that. But They really are. They're in a better position now than they were obviously at the beginning of the offseason. And we got to give them credit. I know we gonna keep trying to knock Jerry and all that type of stuff. Today, I got to salute them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just. It's really the draft is going to complete the puzzle. They've done the work. Some of y'all may not like it, but they have done the work. They chose not to go to the top end of free agency. They chose to go and come from the bottom up and fill out depth. They've done a good job at that. You may not like it, but you can see what the game plan is. They mixed in some real impactful players. A couple players, Dante Fowler. I think Saborn is a good pickup. And I think that the kid from Tennessee, the linebacker, is a good pickup. These are guys, when I say impact, I ain't talking about where they are first going to be first team all pros. No, when you draft a guy and they can become a day one starter from the start, that's what you call impact. That's impact. They may not be on the level of, the best linebackers in the league, but when you can go to free agency and you can get a day one start out of this, that's for your team. That's impact. Now, whether they good or not, that remains to be seen. But I do believe beyond a shadow of doubt, y'all, that the draft will complete this puzzle. And they are in a position because they're drafted high. They are in a position where they really can make impact. Every pick will not be impactful, but it's gonna fill out more depth. But there are a couple spots where we can get some day one starters out of this draft. Obviously, pick 12 again in the second round because we drafted high there. Those are moves that we need to be kind of paying attention to. So the game plan of the Cowboys is slowly but surely almost you can see it. I mean, there's no question. You can see it. So I believe that they put themselves in a real good position, and we just have to see. A lot of y'all want to catch up to Philadelphia and Washington and all that. Guess what? Probably not gonna happen this year. But in some spots, the bottom line is, here's the thing, y'all, and this is where I am. I ain't never intimidated when I play ball. I ain't intimidated by no team. They got to get on the field, and I can hit you in your mouth, just like you can hit me in mine. And it's gonna be the better man gonna win. So I'm not scared of Washington. I'm not scared of Philadelphia. I'm not worried about that at all. So to answer some so I'm saying, have we caught up to Philadelphia? Have we closed the gap? Probably not. But it ain't like we hadn't done nothing. Okay. So let's see. Because that's really where it all points. Everything just about done. Will the Cowboys do a wide receiver too? No, I don't think so. I think they already know they can get that in the draft. Younger, and probably, most people talk about Keenan Allen and all that. Well, Keenan Allen's an accomplished receiver, no doubt. He would benefit us, but he's 33 years old. Hey, forgive me. Try ZipRecruiter. I'm not saying he can't play, but I am saying that we can get younger and better. And I think that's where the route we need to go with, if you ask me. That's me. You may want Keenan Allen. That's fine. I'll take him anyway. If we sign him, I'd be glad to have him. I'd be glad. You won't get no problem out of me. I'm just saying I feel like we still can get younger in the draft. I believe the wide receiver gap between Keenan obviously is a better receiver than most of these guys in the draft, but is it a tremendous gap? That's all I'm saying. So a lot of y'all want another wide receiver, Mari Cooper, Keenan Allen, all that type of stuff. I ain't really worried about that. All right. That's all I got to say. It's really about Joe Milton. this morning. I'm here where I need to be at now. I'm at work. I appreciate all you guys for joining in on the ride. Mr. Burns, I see you. Kevin, the conscience is in the building, my brother. Gary, Kristen, Daryl, Kevin Hicks. How you doing? John, what's up? These are the only people that have spoken to me so far. So all the rest of you watching, I appreciate you guys popping in on me. Thanks for doing it. One thing about the phone, when I use this phone, it's quite different than using my computer. So I'm pressing buttons and it ain't doing like the computer. So I better leave it alone before I miss it up. I appreciate all you listening. I'll be with you guys in full tomorrow. I can't, maybe somewhere around 5, 6 o'clock. Reason why I can't really give you time because I don't know if my son has a basketball game tomorrow, and it may be somewhere around the usual time, which is 3 o'clock for us. So I can't commit to that, but I will come on tomorrow. It may be later that evening or something. So keep your notifications on, and then you guys will know, obviously, when the notification come on that I'm going live. Listen, I know it's early. Appreciate all you guys that came in hanging early. Share it if you can. I appreciate all of you listening. If you want to contribute to the podcast, you can go to my Cash App, which is $ the Big Time Show. Or if you want to do the super chat, I know it's at the end, but for somebody maybe watching this a little bit later on, you can use the super chat on YouTube, or you can use those stars on Facebook. Nevertheless, man, look, I appreciate y'all. Hey, for y'all that haven't caught me, y'all check out my new intro and outro music. All right, y'all vibe to it. You know, it matches me. You understand? I'm older. I don't do all that bouncing stuff. I'm too old to bounce now. I'm smooth. Y'all don't believe me? Check me out. Appreciate y'all. This has been the one and the only, the Big Time Show. Y'all vibe out with me. Check it out. Y'all like that, didn't you? I know you liked it. I'm hollering, y'all.